Kia ora and welcome. My name is Ellyn Rose and this is the creative cure to boredom. I created this channel to share and explore some inventive approaches to art using everyday materials you can find in your own home. The hope is that it makes the current lockdown and isolation situation just a little bit more bearable. Today we're going to have a bit of an explore with turning cotton and cardboard into geometric guides. So there's quite a few videos out there online of really intricate ones, and I thought I would start with a really basic introduction to just get your head around the process of making these forms. So all you'll need is some cardboard, some pins, and some sewing cotton. Hope you enjoy the video. So I've just made 4 layers of cardboard and I'm just sticking them together with some basic PVA glue. I'm making it a bit thicker because my pins are quite long, so I want to make sure that they go into the cardboard far enough. And I'm adding some gaffer tape around the sides to frame it, but also to hold the cardboard together while the glue is drying. So if I wanted to, I could remove this at the end if I didn't like the look of the gaffer tape around the outside. I've chosen 5 different colours of thread to make my design with, and you'll see how I layer them shortly. So I'm just getting an idea of a circle shape, and so I'm using this canister, and then I'm just making roughly 11 different marks around the outside. Now you can start with a white pin like that if you want all of the threads to come back to the same spot. I've decided for this one that I'm actually going to tie the threads off at different points around the circle, just to avoid having all of the end threads on one pin. And I'm just pressing it down slightly to make sure that those pins have gone through and are sturdily into the cardboard. And I tie on one pin and I'm just wrapping around each pin. So I'm going to do this twice, so each pin has 2 threads wrapped around it. I come back to the start pin and I tie it off. Now to start the next colour, I'm actually starting 2 pins over, and that'll be my start pin this time. And this time I'm working in 2s. So I'm avoiding every other pin and looping around. And again, I want to do 2 layers of this, so I'll come back to my initial thread, I'll tie it up, and I'll start with my next colour. So with the 3rd colour, I'm going to go every 3rd pin. And this is what creates those different lines in the centre of this geometric drawing. It gives a slightly different angle. If you're having trouble with the threads rising up, just put your finger down on the threads and push them down to the base of the pins. I was finding some of them a little tricky, in particular this one, so the one that was skipping every 4th pin, and I was having to use my finger quite a lot to hold the threads down to make sure they wouldn't unwind. It's quite a repetitive motion, but it's actually quite meditative. And so with my last thread, I'm doing every 5th pin to again bring that thread coming even closer to the center of this circle. And once I finish doing 2 layers of this, I'm just going to make sure all my threads are tied up, and then I'm going to cut off all of the loose ends. So this is the end result. You can see that you can still see each of the different colours on there. And they each create a slightly different geometric shape. So they come together to make quite an interesting form. You can imagine that if you did it bigger or if you included more pins in this process, you get some more intricate and detailed geometric forms. You can also play around with colours too. You can look them up on the internet, but there's some that do optical illusions just by matching the correct colours together. I actually think it would have been really interesting to cover all of the cardboard in the gaffer tape so that it was all black, and then do just a white image on top. You also don't need to stick to a circle, so you can do all sorts of line making with this process. I just thought I'd do a quick and easy circle to start with. I'd be really interested to hear what you've tried with this process. Please do leave your comments and suggestions below. I'd love to hear them. My name is Ellyn Rose. This has been the Creative Cure to Boredom. Till next time, ngā mihi nui.